Dog Works Radio is sponsored by Alaska Dog Works. Check out their website at alaskadogworks.com.
This episode of the podcast is brought to you by First Paw Coffee Company, specializing in private label premium blend coffee. If you're serious about coffee, you should check it out. First Paw Coffee's passion is high-quality, small-batch roasted coffee. They take the extra time to taste and get everything perfect before they release new blends. They aim to bring you a cup of happiness each time you pour yourself some coffee. Find out more at ak.dog/free and enter for a chance to win some First Paw Coffee prizes, a book from our collection, and tote bag. One winner will be selected at random each month. That's ak.dog/free.
Hi guys, it's Robert from Dog Works Radio, and today we have a very special guest. We have Tara Stiles calling in from Brooklyn, New York, and today we're going to talk all about yoga and include the family dog as well. Did you know that a 2016 report from Harvard Health Publishing showed that 37 million people practice yoga, an increase of almost 50% since 2012. We're also going to talk about a brand new book called Yoga Animals, a wild introduction to kid-friendly poses. Stiles was named the coolest yoga instructor ever by Vanity Fair. Let's jump right into the interview.
From First Paw Media, sponsored by Alaska Dog Works Professional Canine Training Center in Anchorage, Alaska. This is Dog Works Radio, committed to families and their dogs to build lifelong and fulfilling relationships. Visit our website at dogworksradio.com. Now here are your hosts, Robert and Michelle Forto.
Hello and welcome everybody. This is Robert Forto and you're listening to Dog Works Radio here on KVRF 89.7 in the Matsu Valley. RadioFreePalmer.org is our live streaming site, and you can hear all of our episodes over on dogworksradio.com. Be sure to check us out on social media by searching Dog Works Radio. And today I am joined by a special guest. Her name is Tara Stiles. She's calling in from New York City, and we're going to talk about yoga with kids, yoga with pets, a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be real fun today here on the show. Tara, how's it going today?
We're doing great. The weather is beautiful here, so perfect for getting outside a little bit and doing some yoga, so no complaints.
Yeah, it is beautiful up here in Alaska, too, and it looks like it's going to be summertime before we know it. But before we jump into talking about yoga and pets, can you do us a little bit of favor and tell us how you got involved with yoga and why did you take that path in life? Because, everybody has something that they're very passionate about.
Sure. Yeah, I grew up from a really small town in rural Illinois, and I did dance as a kid. I did ballet and contemporary dance, things like that, and I loved it. I thought that would be my life. And as I got to be a teenager, one of my ballet teachers brought in yoga to our dance program for relaxation and stress reduction. And I thought, oh my goodness, this is amazing. This is a way to move my body where I feel so good about myself. And there's not really a goal of being able to do the pose to the most extreme way like dance was or performance was. And my first thought was, this is amazing. This is something that I want to keep in my life forever so I feel good. And my second thought was, why don't my friends and family do this already? This is amazing. So I never thought it would turn into a job, but I just started sharing it and doing classes and learning from people and starting to share it with anybody who was stressed out or had back pain or anxiety or basically any ailment where I could find a way for yoga to help them. I started doing, and like anything you become really passionate about, it slowly just took over my life. I started a small studio and started making videos online back in the beginning of YouTube, and then the momentum kind of just was too hard to ignore. More and more things just started pulling me toward this direction. And yeah, it's been really fulfilling to get to do something that makes me feel good and share that feeling good path with others.
Well, as we said at the top of the show, Tara, I am not a yoga practicer. I don't know much about it, and I don't know if a lot of our listeners are either. Can you kind of just explain what yoga is in a, kind of in a soundbite, I guess, if you will?
Sure. There's so many kinds of yoga, and I think that's why I started sharing it because, all my friends and family, I think, are similar to your listeners. They thought yoga, that's strange, or I have to touch my toes, or how is that going to actually benefit my life? So, my mission has really been to share with people that if you can breathe, you can do yoga, and it's about feeling better in your body, feeling better in your whole self, and moving in a way that actually feels nourishing and beneficial to you through the yoga forms. You can simply sit or lie down and take a few really big deep breaths and focus on your inhales lifting and expanding you and your exhales softening and relaxing you, and move from there. And when you really, start the practice centered around how you feel, then it's always about you. It's not about you being good at yoga. It's more about you feeling better for yourself.
And there's all types of yoga that you can practice. I mean, you can do it in studio, you can do it outside, you can do it, what do they call it? Hot yoga. There's all sorts of different types of yoga that you can do. Is it sort of the same general practice? I mean, you had mentioned kind of that connection of mind and body. No matter where you do it, you're trying to find that state, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the goal. And I think, if people are nervous to try yoga and you go somewhere, you try one instructor and it doesn't quite feel like a good fit, kind of like, finding the right meal that you really love, or finding the right paint to paint your wall, or whatever it is. You can try different things and try different videos online, or try different styles or teachers until you find something that really makes you feel good about yourself. And, some people don't like the really hot room, and some people prefer to have their goat yoga class, or like your friend in the wilderness class, or whatever it is. But, I think the real spirit of yoga should be about feeling good for yourself. So if you find something that makes you feel better when you're moving and breathing, then you're on a right track.
So we're definitely going to talk about getting the family dog involved here a little bit, and I'd love to hear your side of that. It's just something I researched before the show here, but I was connected with you about yoga with kids and involving the whole family and all of that. What direction is that going in right now?
Oh my gosh. Well, being a part of this book project was so great. I have a 3-year-old at home, and she loves to get on the floor, obviously, and play and move. And any time where I can get on the floor with her and do some movements, we can do some easygoing yoga poses together. It's fun for both of us. It's not like I'm teaching her how to do something. We're doing it together. And I think, she feels empowered, like she has confidence and she can move her body just like the animals do. And it's something that parents and, big brothers and big sisters and friends and family can all do together in a way that's not just a teachable moment or an activity to fill the time, but something that makes you feel good about yourself and really shapes the whole mood for the day.
And in the book, Yoga Animals, it is all about that, where you're describing poses that resemble animal movements. I saw in the book, the gorilla pose and the giraffe pose and the flamingo pose and even a puppy pose.
Yeah, we've got the dog in there.
You do. That is so cool, and that's a great way to introduce kids to something new, because they always want to imitate what mom and dad are doing, and especially in this time where everybody's sort of social distancing and in the home, and you have mom at home with the kids and she's doing her daily yoga in the living room or in her studio or whatever. It's really fun to get the kids involved and do it kind of on their level, isn't it?
Oh, exactly. And yeah, the animals are such great examples. And, if there's a dog at home, the dog is automatically doing downward dog, the big stretch when they wake up from their nap or in the morning and, any time of day. And animals are such a great example at taking good care of themselves all the time. So, reaching when they want to reach for something and relaxing when there's sort of not a reason not to relax. And us humans, whether we're little people, kids, or anywhere in between to adults, we sort of do what we're told, or we sit down in a chair or stand up for a long time. And we're really good at sort of suffering our way through something to get something done. And we kind of forget that we can feel good too, and we can connect with our breath and move in a little bit more of a way that an animal would move, that's more natural to us, and then essentially feel better. So that's really what a good goal is with yoga, is to feel better.
And of course, it's an excellent bonding opportunity between mom and dad and the kids and everybody that's involved with that. It becomes time where you can spend time together. It's not, I'm going to go sequester myself and do this, in the bedroom or the living room or whatever. Why don't you watch something on TV while mommy does this? They can really be involved, can't they?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's such a great point. There's so many, separate activities for kids and parents, and, mom's in the kitchen making dinner, and why don't you go, play with your toys over there? And this is a real moment where everybody can play together, and the parents benefit, the kids benefit, and it becomes something that we're all doing together to feel good. And it's not so much, the parents telling the kids how to feel or what to do, or the kids kind of getting away with something. It really levels the playing field and makes yoga more fun, and moving in your body more fun, and sort of relating to who you are as a person much easier than often we get kind of stuck in our routines and stuck in our ways that way.
Tara, you mentioned that you have a 3-year-old at home, and you are you're a yoga expert. You've been doing this all over the world, and of course you teach it for a living. How do you have your little one keep up with mom when you're doing your poses? And again, my vocabulary with this is probably wrong, but when you're doing your poses or your movements, how are you doing that to tailor to the little one?
Well, I mean, I think the great thing about little ones is they'll start teaching you or kind of take the lead. And I know with our little one, Daisy, she's been around this sort of, her whole life, I guess, but just seeing the book and flipping through herself, she sees something in a picture and then she automatically does it. She doesn't need any instruction. So, if I do something, she does the same thing. If I do a downward dog, like the puppy, she does the same thing. And she even, I think kids are all different, of course, but she's definitely the one that says, Mom, you're doing it, do it like this. And now we'll do this one. And this one's coming next. So, a lot of kids will kind of feel empowered to learn a few things, just like they'd be learning the alphabet, just like, learning anything new. And then they'll feel empowered to mix up the order and to create their own routines and, not have it be so scary or something so precious, where I think a lot of us grown-ups tend to, get too serious about these kinds of things. So I think there's no danger of kids not being able to keep up with this, because they'll look at the picture and say, I can do that. You show me that you can do it, Mom and Dad, too. So that's part of the fun. Yeah.
So what really piqued my interest, Tara, is one of the talking points that I got before the interview about self-awareness and, relaxation and all of that you can involve the kids with. As you know, we're a dog training show, and we do a heck of a lot of family dog training where, mom or dad calls us with a problem with Max or Rover, but they say that they want to have the kids involved as well. They want to have the kids learn how to teach Max how to do the commands or the tricks or whatever. And yoga has that ability too. And as it says here, it teaches techniques for self-help, relaxation, inner fulfillment, and navigating life's challenges with a little bit more ease. And I think that's exactly what we're trying to do with the family dog, but you're doing it on a different level, aren't you?
Yeah, I mean, that's the same goal. I mean, I think, we're all trying to help people feel better and more connected to themselves. And, yoga is a great tool for that, but it's not the only tool for that. And I think, it's a great tool to be in your body. And, it's not a lecture about feeling good and, calm down and be centered and be mindful. It's more from the inside out. You do the movements, you feel better, you get excited, you have a little bit of fun. And then all those benefits of being more mindful, being more connected, being more confident just happen as a result of simply doing the practice. So see, we're doing yoga together, same thing, and all the same goal there.
Yes, exactly. Tara, you had mentioned that you started doing videos on YouTube when it first came out, when that became really popular, and I remember that sort of the next wave of social media when everybody was posting on YouTube. And I'm going to tailor this question into sort of the world that we're in right now, and we're just sort of coming out of the the lockdowns with the corona pandemic and all of that, and life is getting a little bit back to normal, but there's still a heck of a lot of unknowns. How do you think that practicing this on video and sharing with people on FaceTime or Facebook Live or anything like that, how do you think that this translates over that type of medium when, there's a heck of a lot of uncertainty out there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, really great. We have this joke with our friends that online is great and in person is magic. Of course, in person is, sort of irreplaceable in that way when you can be together and communicate right in front of each other. But, online, especially now with how the new technology is with Instagram Live and FaceTime and all of these things, sharing a yoga class with somebody or sharing a FaceTime with somebody is a really great tool. And I think that the connection is still real, even though the person is behind their screen somewhere else. But, I'm grateful that technology has evolved at this stage, especially right now, because, when I started making YouTube videos back in 2007, you would make something and then put it up and then people would watch it on their own time. But now we can really, the sort of future is here where you can just call somebody and see them at the same time. So that's a really fun way to share the practice as well. And since quarantine started here in New York, I have been doing a daily live yoga class for anyone that wants to join just on Instagram. And it's been a fun way to connect with people and help everybody sort of feel better together.
Oh, I agree with you. And you can do it in real time, unlike the old days of YouTube where, like you said, you would just sort of record it and people would watch it at will. During the lockdown here in Alaska, I would find myself doing the cycling classes where I'd jump on my trainer and, watch them on video and participate in the class as they go. Is that something very similar that you do?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's such a great thing that we're able to do. You feel kind of it's happening at this time, so I'm going to get ready. I'm going to be there. I know maybe some other people that I know are going to be there, and the instructor will say something to me. So it becomes, very similar to that in-person experience where you can see people, who's all there and what comments they're making, and you sort of have that accountability to, okay, every day at this time, I have somewhere to be, and it's going to make myself feel a little bit better.
It says in your bio, Tara, that you've practiced in over 100 countries around the world, and that's really impressive. And hopefully one day soon we can get back to traveling again and seeing people abroad. Tell us a little bit about that. Where is your favorite place to travel? Maybe not just to do yoga, but just to visit. And how is it perceived different in other countries in the world? Let's say Japan. How is it different in Japan compared to Ireland, compared to the U.S., et cetera?
Oh gosh, I think that's one of my favorite things to talk about. And I think being from a small town in Illinois, it was my dream to meet people from sort of everywhere and see what everybody was like. And I really thought when I started having opportunities to travel and to lead yoga with different groups of people that, other people must be so different than me and so unique from me. And to some degree, people are. They have different religions and different foods they eat and different cultures and communities. But at the end of the day, everybody wants to feel better. So sort of the message of ease that I offer with yoga and helping people feel better with the practice really became such a way to connect with people and kind of cut through all of the differences. So the differences became, to me, at least, a lot more interesting and fun and unique instead of scary or something that would be more divisive. So, in Japan, I would notice that they're just as stressed out as the New Yorkers are. In Utah, maybe people are hiking a bit more, so they want to do yoga in a way to feel better, to recover from their super active outdoor lifestyle. So whatever the lifestyle is, that connection of wanting to feel better, wanting to be more connected with yourself and your family and your work or your passion or whatever it is, at least it's really reminded me that we're so much more the same than we are different. And that's been such a beautiful gift to be able to travel around the world and do yoga with people and to experience that sort of sameness in a way, and then kind of celebrate all the strange little, to me, or foreign things that are different from all of us. And I can, explore new foods or learn about a new culture, whatever it is, and feel comfortable relating to people from this sort of place of feeling better.
So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit, and I sort of alluded to it in the last question. Where is your favorite place to travel, and do you have a bucket list destination that you cannot wait to get to?
Oh my gosh. Well, I've been so many places for yoga, but I think, my parents growing up, they did a really cool thing. They got a pop-up camper and we toured around the US, and I really loved going to the Grand Canyon and out west, and just I thought that looked like, space, or like on a different planet or something, all of those rocks and the beauty of the canyon. So I still really love that sort of rugged, open landscape of America in a way. But yeah, I think the sort of Southwest just speaks to me in that way. But I do love, Europe, we go to Europe a lot and Asia a lot, and some of the beautiful Indonesian islands, all of that. I don't want to kind of diminish all of that, but I think to me something really speaks about the grandness of the Grand Canyon and the Badlands and all that kind of wide open space. Haven't been to Alaska yet, unfortunately, so that's definitely on my bucket list. So I'm coming for you.
Excellent,
and I'm
excellent.
learn some things about dogs.
Yes, it is a beautiful place up here for sure, and it's very welcoming as well. So Tara, I mentioned that we have to include dogs or dog training in this a little bit. Of course, that's what our listeners love to hear about. And I'm bringing up something that maybe you can give us some advice on. I was researching and I found something about, I think they call it doga, where they do it with the dogs. Yeah. And they incorporate not just traditional yoga, but they're also incorporating some dog massage and pressure points and that sort of thing. Can you give us some insight to this? Is this just some kind of gimmick, or is this something that has some legs, I guess?
Well, yeah. Well, I think it can definitely be a great thing, especially with your dog. I mean, if it's your dog, you love your dog, and that's such a beautiful relationship anyway. So if you're on the floor rolling around, whether it's your kid or your dog is going to get involved, and I think that's something to embrace instead of something to kind of go into another room and hide to do your yoga or your fitness, and then just come back and have that separate time to play with the dog. So. Yeah, I mean, especially jumping, letting the dog kind of massage you if you're in a forward bend, and encouraging your dog to roll around on your back a little bit. The great thing about dogs is they're not thinking, am I leaning on the right spot for her? Am I touching in the right way for him? They're, they care about you, they love you, they trust you, and they just give you their whole body weight, and that essentially feels amazing. And that's really the sort of best massage we can get from a professional masseuse. We don't want one of these tentative kind of tickly things. We want somebody to kind of get in there in all the right places. And then, of course, that can work both ways. You can lean on your dog and explore around, and even if you kind of hook on the back of their spine and lean over to one side, you can kind of not really do it wrong, as long as you're not pushing too hard. You're more using the force of gravity to lean a little bit and kind of build that sensation with each other, and that's can be super fun to incorporate. And I'm sure the dog comes back for more. And, we spent some time out in Utah, and there was a lot of horses out there, and I would just kind of use the same principles and see if it would work, and lean on the spine of a horse and just lean my whole body weight back. And a horse is so big that it could just take my body weight down, and then it would kind of, roll its head around and feel good and make some nice noises. So same thing with a dog. You can roll around on the floor, and I love doing that with other people's dogs, just, when we're allowed to go back out again into the world. And, if you're just playing with a dog on the ground, leaning a little bit, get on the ground at their level and enjoy putting a little bit of your weight on them, and enjoy having a little bit of their weight on you. And, it feels great.
And you made a great point there, Tara. It could be therapy as well. We do quite a bit of therapy dog and service dog training. So I from what you're saying, this could be incorporated in that work, couldn't it? Occupational or physical therapy for the person that has one of these service dogs or therapy dogs in their life.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, there's just some really easy, simple techniques you can do by leaning away from the spine a little bit, and, even a little bit of pressure into the dog's paws, things like that. I mean, the tops of our feet and the bottoms of our feet have all those meridian points. You can kind of just even play around with yourself, but, you can't really go wrong as long as you're staying easy and applying soft pressure. And, your dog will tell you if you're doing something that doesn't feel good for them. So yeah, there's the possibilities there are endless. So I think it's really really beneficial for therapeutic purposes.
And sort of one last point with the dog in yoga. You talked about doing videos at home and sharing them along, and sort of having the sort of the family involved. Everything doesn't have to be perfect. If the family dog wanders in during the Facebook live session and comes up and licks your face, it's not a bad thing, is it?
Oh, I think that's even better. I mean, how relaxing and softening is it to see, that natural moment of the dog coming up and just being a part of the action. So I think, dogs are universal and just bring happiness to everybody. So, bring it on. Let everybody be involved. And the more natural and the more spontaneous, the better.
So,
for
Tara,
everybody.
We have just a minute or two left, and I hope that we covered what you wanted to talk about today, but did we miss anything that you want to mention?
Oh, I think now I want to come visit you and get involved with all the dogs and the dog therapy and do some yoga and all this stuff.
Excellent.
When this is over, I'm going to come find you guys.
Sounds good. So, Tara, how can folks follow you on social media? Are you on Instagram, Facebook, everything?
Oh, yeah, all that stuff. You can just find me by my name, Tara Stiles, or our yoga organization, Strala Yoga, as well. So both of those have yoga classes and, events and workshops and all that stuff, and it's all available online, of course. So, yeah, come join along in the daily yoga classes. Everybody's invited.
I might have to do that. Tara, hang on just a second so we can close here. On behalf of my guest today, Tara Stiles, we're talking about yoga in all different ways, with kids, with dogs, in nature, traveling around the world, and a brand new book that's coming out called Yoga Animals, which you're definitely going to have to check out if you have little ones in your life. It is a very cool book, and I'm going to put links all over the place on the show notes, and it's going to be a great way to connect in this trying time for sure. So on behalf of my guest today, Tara Stiles, this is Robert Forto for DogWorks Radio. We will see you guys next time. Goodbye.
This episode of the podcast is sponsored by First Paw Coffee Company. Learn more at firstpaw.coffee.
From First Paw Media, this is DogWorks Radio. We hope you enjoyed this podcast, and we invite you to subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts. You'll find a link on the episode notes. You can tap or swipe on the episode cover art, and you'll see some offers from our sponsors. You can support our show by supporting them. If you like what you have heard, we would love it if you could give us a 5-star rating and tell your friends how to subscribe too. Your hosts are Robert and Michelle Forto. Our producer is Robert Forto and created for First Paw Media. Did you know that Alaska Dog Works trains service dogs for those in need throughout North America? Each and every service dog that is trained through the Lead Dog Service Dog Program and Michelle Forto and her team has an individual training plan. We train for autistic, mobility, psychiatric, and PTSD for our soldiers for service work. If you know of someone that may need a service dog, please take a moment and check out Alaska Dog Works on social media and at alaskadogworks.com.